Okay, so I'm going to try to talk about in this video the roping. The orange stuff on my PVC rectangle, I don't remember what that is. It's not nearly as strong as the stuff I'm using for the weight bearing parts. That's more just to kind of support the PVC. You could probably go with something stronger if you really wanted to, but I know I can tie that stuff and bend it around like that much better than the stuff I'm using. Oh, he found a squirrel. Come on, bud. He's like, no, but there's a squirrel, Mom. And I've been inside. Side note, it's been somewhere between -1 to -21 for the last 3 days, spending more time around -10 than anything else. Or maybe even more. So we haven't been out for a few days. Poor guy. Anyways, that stuff, it's experimental. The whole thing is experimental, but this is a separate piece from the rest. It's webbing around it. That stuff is pretty sure it's dynamic, which means it stretches, and I think it's braided and not twisted, but it's got a core and stuff in it, so I wouldn't be able to do what I do with the other stuff as easily, and it's way flimsy. So the yellow stuff that you can see between me and Kevin, and from the sled to the line between me and Kevin, that stuff is, I think, polypropylene, and it's braided, not twisted. I want to say this is half inch or 3/4. I think it's 1/2 inch or 5/8 or something. I can't remember. I had it ordered off at Amazon because I couldn't find it in Lowe's or Menards or anything. All I could find was a slightly smaller stuff. This stuff's load bearings. Oh, back to that squirrel. The weight load limit, not what it could if you tried real hard and weren't afraid of it breaking. That's why I like a low center of gravity. Way easier to put it back on its feet. It's about 300 pounds, I think. So I weigh about 165. I'm a little chonky and a little muscly. And Kevin weighs around 72 now. And if he puts full ramming speed on, I don't know what his force could be, but I figured that would be reasonable to try to keep him attached to me, unless there's an emergency, in which case I unclip or something, or we're stuck together. I've got some thinner stuff I was using for other stuff, and that was 90-pound weight limit, and I'm like, if he sees a squirrel and runs, I want to be sure that he's not going to be detaching and engaging with, say, a bear or a porcupine, somebody's dog who's barking at him and got him all riled up, so he's acting stupid too. Come on, Kev, let's go. Thank you. Good boy, out front. Wow, you're acting like you're listening to me. I like it. Oop, we're a little tangled here. All right, let's go. Come on, bud. Hey. Yeah? Good job. Let's go. Sorry, my videography is kind of horrible. I'm more watching him than the screen. So this rope, instead of making it one long length, I was looking at a lot of different dog sledding, buy gear websites and websites about how to make it, or how we used to do it in the old days and stuff. And so from there, I came up with using lengths, modular lengths. So there's an end here close to me that's attached to my little shock absorber, and then it runs up. So those aren't, I don't know if you call them knots or not. I think they kind of are. But each segment is a different length. Well, some of them are closer to the same length, but I've got shorters and longers. And they're each made up kind of with loops on each end. So then I just kind of slide the loops through. I don't know what that knot is called. But run it through the loop on the other one and then run it through itself so it's stuck. And then I have modularity on where I want loops out there that I can clip my sled bridle, or whatever that's called, to. And I use fins to do some splicing, and I probably overdo the first locking parts before I actually bury the ends, but I'm an overkill person because I'm not sure what the testing weight and stuff that I'm doing is, so I figure overkill is better than underkill. And the bungee, I have no clue what that strength is. It's different ones. I've got 2 back here by me, and I've got well, it's 2 loops of the same one. He's got one of a slightly weaker one up by him. But that's also run through the ends of a length with loops on both ends. And then I've got metal, like hog rings, I think they're called, or something. I'm technically using the stuff that you use to attach chain link fence at the bottom to the wire thing that it's strung along. But I think they're also called hog rings in other usages. There's paracord up between the tips of the skis because I just needed something easy to deal with. And paracord is also dynamic. It'll stretch. You can see it's stretching. I can adjust the tension if I need to. It's easier to do that when we're not attached to a dog. The yellow stuff, I don't know if it's dynamic or static, but it sure is a lot less stretchy than paracord or some of the other stuff out there. So that's one of the reasons I'm using it too. It's easy to work with. It's abrasion resistant. The stuff you can see coming out of it, I don't have a flashlight on me, but I found on Amazon some, it's really neat in that segment. The rest of the segments have been a bit abraded, but it's like a ribbon that's, I think this is basically the stuff that they use to braid into other ropes to make them have reflective segments. Only it came on a nice sort of a spool thing. I don't remember how much I got. It was like the only thing of its kind that I found on Amazon after a little bit of searching. But it's exactly what I was looking for to make these reflective in case we're out low light situation. Especially near the road, I want people to realize this dog is attached to something. Cap. Yeah, it's like 9 degrees right now, which is heating up compared to the last 3 days, so that's why I'm snippy. I'm walking, I just ate food, which was done before exercise, and it's cold. Gotta say, side note, for anybody who wears glasses and has them fog up when they're wearing like gaiters and stuff, I'm not wearing a gaiter now, but I went on Amazon and found some relatively cheapish ski goggles designed to go on over glasses, and they're designed to not like fog up, and I have worn them in pretty dang windy conditions and cold conditions, and I'll get like a teeny bit of fog on the inside of my glasses when I sweat heavily, but it's minimal, and then I just kind of grab the frame, pull it away from my face for a second, and it's pretty much taken care of, versus having huge amounts of I can't see through my glasses lenses because I'm keeping my face warm. Now, I'm not wearing a gaiter or a balaclava now, but I have, and I've had great success. So here's to warm noses on that. The bridle, I thought a lot about, and that's what I'm pulling this segment from the sled up to where it attaches to the main line. That's 3 pieces of rope there. I think it would be called a rope. I'm assuming it's called rope and not line. But I went for my classic loop on each end of a length of rope, and then I fed it around. It's a second board in there, not the front anymore. And it's trying to be about the same length of rope. I was really careful about measuring and splicing when I did those two, because I wanted to try to make it somewhat symmetrical so that it would be even pull on both sides when we're going in a straight line. Not that we usually go much in a straight line, but that's the plan. And then I wasn't sure how to put the clip on there with the swivel, so I gave it a short segment of rope. That's about as short as I can make them because of the length of rope that you have to bury when you're splicing with this stuff. But you can see the two become one, or at least join up, and then there's one from there to the clip, to the main pull line there that attaches to Kevin and me. That's pretty much what I got for you. And yeah, hopefully some of this is useful to somebody.